as of this recording, in a few seconds' time, we should be hitting winter. Now, this night was actually a nice casual moon. I was able to resurrect a few people, but we have been mostly looking at issues. Huge amounts of resource been put onto, obviously, the bolts, and there's skywalkers everywhere. So with there being a nice moon, I resurrected 2 people and a dog. That was all I could find. There might be more, but I couldn't find them. But now we have 10 days of winter. So this is where our empire either lives or dies. There is no middle ground. Now I've continued expanding defensive line, as you can see. I've pushed it out. I've got torches all the way down the side again. So we have visual all the way down there once more. Not the best, but that's what we have. Oh, and all of our dogs keep dying of old age, I'm sad to say. Kind of. We still keep getting more. We are hitting building pop limits. There is a hard cap on building population, of course. Can only have so many buildings. So the next step of the stronghold will be a small castle. That'll give us a few more. We have access to a fair few more ancillaries. Not sure where to put them, but we have access to them. And we have beginning of more and more ballista. So if that's on the way, we have defences going along. Ice bullet towers. I say we have a few issues with the actual bow towers. I have enough resources, but we're getting there. I've made these 2 poison purely because poison. I know, I just felt like doing it. Obviously everything else is ice. We're still expanding, we're still growing. Everything is coming up pretty well. Now outside of that, we are going to put another ballista somewhere over here to keep the enemy away. Put a couple more ballista on the side. But the enemy rage is growing, and we don't know what their rage level is going to be, because the one night we properly had the rage, the enemy was peaceful, and we just resurrected 2 bodies instead. So tonight we're about to find out just how angry these people can truly be. What are you doing? And we may or may not like the answer. It's probably going to be pretty bad. But we're still working, we're still growing, still expanding. And hopefully, things are going to come out pretty nice. But again, we don't really know. And that's a big one. Not knowing could screw us all over. I might be building for no reason. This could be the death of all of us, and I may not be knowing it. So let's find out tonight how well we've done. While I'm extending my Crystallia by having another one to get my global refine speed up higher, a big issue about to have is because it's now winter, we don't get rain, we get snow. And also, our water will freeze. Obviously, the bigger the water, the longer it takes to freeze. But this area here will no longer be stopping the enemy from getting in. We may be having a crisis of fire confidence very soon. Although food you can just keep on buying, kind of. We have like resources all over the place. We have a meteor storm, that's kind of going to help out as well, now I think about it. That's just what we needed, a meteor storm. Dead center of the base, destroying all of my trees. Didn't need those trees anyway. Now another thing, a big issue will be, because it's cold, Motivate Land doesn't work. It works best in spring and autumn. When it's raining, when it's warm. We need warm rain. We have cold snow. So now, God, all of my trees. So now Motivate Land will not really work. So, yeah. We can probably plant some holy trees. That might help out, but we do not have access to regrowing the food. That's the big bit. It's not about the trees, it's about regrowing the food. We are going to have big issues with that, so let's carry on going. Get this area finished up, because we have a great crystal production now. Obviously, we can still change it later if we don't like it, but we have a lot of crystal. A lot of the rubbish has been taken away by our little QB golems over here. Oh, never mind, they're on fire. Still being upgraded. But, you know, we're getting to where we'd like them to be. And where we'd like them to be is not being hit by bloody... every time. But yeah, the QB golems are doing well. Buildings are on fire. We probably could do a few more people working on things, but every building I can upgrade has been upgraded. Or is in the middle of being upgraded. Because we need them just doing their job well, and also not being on fire with their houses. I haven't done anything much with their houses yet, so I apologise for that one. Well, they've got plenty of animals. Could do some more chickens, probably do another clucker coop if I'm honest. And water will be fun and interesting. We should have enough, but that will be fun and interesting. Yay. God damn it, everything's still on fire. A second meteor storm in the same day. Welcome to winter. where everything falls upon you. Yeah, so we've not yet hit the night time. I've extended this, so refine speed is going up. Of course, we need to get it fully upgraded. I'm going to start putting more people upon it, but yeah, there's fire coming from the sky. Just small things, eh? So, oh my god, it's destroying chunks of the forest. That is not good. Luckily, we are using the holy wood to regrow vast chunks of it. But, yeah, we really don't want the forest to have holes. Because that's one of the few breaches which would allow massive hordes of horrors to enter. Oh my god, everything's on fire. Again. Luckily, we have golems up here, but even so... also, we're using the magic forest for growth over here too. We may not be able to use the regular growth, so we're using holy wood. And it seems to be working. Because, you know, the trees are exactly the same, apart from being blue. Dusk is finally here, and as I expected, the water's frozen. Can I melt it? Nope. Nighttime, the enemy can just walk over the water, so don't rely on a moat at certain times of the year, because you will get absolutely screwed over. Now, luckily, obviously, I destroyed the water previously because the fire elementals would not path to it. I think to make them path over 2 bits of water, I'm going to have to make it so that they have to go over 3 bits of water anywhere else. So I'm working on that. But yeah, that was an issue. Now, luckily, the golemic hordes are on the way. The enemy, however, should be okay. The range is good, but the fire elementals can't really reach anything at the rear. They obviously can hit these guys, but these don't really matter. They're more distractions than anything else. And they, of course, keep the golemic hordes alive. But yeah, the ice being frozen, or the water being frozen to ice, is going to give this a whole new dynamic. However, it looks like it's good to go. This area here is being upgraded. This is also being exploding, purely because it gives me more crushing, more piercing, and fire. Whereas the other ones do not really give me much of anything. So obviously the ball explodes, but obviously I'm getting a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, I'm going to go with exploding sling towers for the centre, because that'll be mostly skeletons. If the fire elementals make it there, I've already lost. Outside of that, we're doing okay, I think. The war is steady? The war is steady. Good, good, good. Okay, let's carry on going then. Food stockpiles are holding steady too. Got a lot of cooked meat. Got a lot of raw veg. Got a fair few rations and all that. So food should not be an issue. I can easily extend that a little bit more as well as we're going in. We still have a little bit too much in the way of rubbish, but I have begun using the cubes I'm making into trashy cube walls. Now, this is only temporary because it looks ugly, to be honest. Trashy cube walls are meant to be a temporary thing. I'm just using them to mark lines and boundaries. So if you see any trashy cube walls anywhere, I'm literally using them to mark building areas I want to build. 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it looks good. In the end, of course, right now it looks rubbish because it's just literally rubbish. But you know, until then, it should be okay. The front line is in the nighttime phase. Obviously not everything is currently here, but it looks like we should be able to hold for another few nights successfully without too many issues. Of course, when the golems start being overwhelmed, which I imagine will be about here, give or take, we'll be in trouble. But that should be day 30. Should be day 30. There's a very high chance it could be a lot sooner. It's been 2 years since I last played this game, according to the thing, so my information is not good. And the only guide I found on Nightmares is one I myself was creating and never finished. So, you know, not the greatest, not the greatest. So we're going to carry on building and upgrading. The Spectre Assault area is pretty good. Like I say, it pulls them over to here. We're going to have another 2 bullet towers at the back just to make sure we do stuff with them. That will use up a bit more of my construction, but I think that is very much needed. Otherwise, I think we're good to go. Yeah, the front lines are a lot more hectic, but there's no real issue going on. We've got plenty of essence. Like, I think I've built a lot better than I have in the past, because before I'd usually have a lot more problems at this point in time. Right now, of course, I'm holding quite steadily. The front lines are still massively ongoing. Got plenty of golems. We're still expanding the golem farms, as you can see up here. So that should be okay. We're also going to be, this is important, finishing off this wall up here. So this area here is sealed off, as you can see. So the enemy can attack these from this bit here. So that will mean spectres and things will try and path into this. If they can't path into it, they'll have issues. But I'm still debating having a hole at the back. So the enemy has to path through the back area, like here and here. Then we have another gateway up at the end. So nothing really wants to path into it. But that's another building slot we don't really have access to right now. But if I do this, that's it. Yeah, we're now officially out of building slots to start building a few more cool things. Now, how are we even doing on woodcutting? We still need so much more. Another person to join the lumberjacks. They are literally my frontline forces. Without them, we wouldn't have enough bolts for anything. Literally. Besides the fact the enemy seems to be coming in larger numbers, my golems are still dealing with this quite admirably. But we only are like 5% range? And obviously numbers get more and more every single day anyway. So I am thinking we could probably do with another layer of golems. But I'm thinking we may need to start moving them further up here. Make this like a golem assault position. Because obviously right now, that's where a lot of our crystal stuff's coming from. It's fine, it does what it does. But yeah, we also need a few more crystal golems. We also need some stone golems. We have 0 stone golems. Those are our heavy hitters. Those are our tanks. We have none of those. Obviously wood means we get more of them, and crystal's always been good for range magic anyway, and turning the wood golems into ice and fire or whatever makes them range as well, so they have more combat. But yeah, obviously we do need some actual tanks on the field, and that's going to be the next case scenario, I feel. But we're getting there, we are getting there. Oh my god, these walls look like I've just accidentally smeared rubbish on the screen. Oh my god. Don't look any better up close, do they? No, that's horrible. Well, you can tell where the markers are because they look rubbish. Literally rubbish. Ugh, my god. I've left things running for an entire day. I've done a few small things. I've basically finally upgraded this. 256 stone it cost me. I've had to change a few people from my wood cutting to the mining facility. Obviously they'll be swapped over and over. I've built a key shack over here to store my completely non-existent amount of keys. There's another small ancillary over here. Obviously I removed the trash can. I'm not sure where I'm going to push that, but it, it doesn't exist at the moment. Obviously, because it's upgraded, and I've also, I think, fully upgraded this a little bit more, we have more space for more buildings. It's time to start really working on what I want. And obviously there's a lot of space here now what this stone has gone. So it's time to start really prepping into what looks good. I'm not entirely sure, if I'm honest. This needs to be moved. But I really am not entirely sure. Interesting things are probably going to happen, but I'll be damned if I know what they look like. So let's find out together? Question mark. Outside on the main combat front, we still have significantly more troops than they do. As you can see, the enemy are getting in here and there, but the numbers are still on our side. Our golems probably need a little bit of reinforcement, but to give you an idea of how the numbers are going, we still have logo golems on the front line. Now, logo golems only produce when your facility does it right. I've talked about it. But also occasionally when you just restart the game, but then turn it off, turn it back on again, you occasionally get logo golems. It's very weird. I've never quite figured out exactly what it is. Sometimes I genuinely don't know. All I know is I've still got some from a while ago, and they've been, let's see, no. I think it's from these ones. From ages ago. Yeah, from this one over here and here. So they're hanging around for quite a while. See, there's another logo golem just here. You can't quite tell. But yeah, they just occasionally get made. Just when I end the game and start the game. And obviously it's randomised, it seems. So don't expect it to happen too much. But yeah, the fact that some of them are still alive shows that the enemy isn't killing my troops fast enough. Obviously we're still healing as many as possible. There is some damage. That was a storm. It wasn't the enemy. They have yet to really breach. The only things to get through all the way are skeletons. And they get dealt with by this, which is waiting for them at the very end. So right now, the enemy is still not a major problem. And I'm hoping it stays that way. Because the range is now about 7%, I'd say. Yeah, give or take 7%. Doesn't really tell me, but the numbers are getting up there. Definitely getting up there. Troops are falling. And the river freezes at night. During the day, it's sometimes nice and watery. But right now, ice, baby. My God, look at this. Just continuous amounts of golems in combat. So I don't know if we're winning, but we're sure as hell keeping them solidly in place. I think we're winning because we're here to have more of my forces than theirs. Yeah, I think we're winning. Definitely looks good. And we're getting more kids as time goes by. It allows us to obviously get more buildings up and running, and eventually more golems. Yeah, I think we're doing well. Although my forces are being distracted by this massive segue over to here, which I'm not the biggest a fan of. I'm going to have to reseal that. But we appear to be winning. Majorly winning. Stealing everything, stealing everything. Da, da, da. Yeah, we're definitely winning. Good. Okay, that's another day of safety for us. Yeah, we are fully winning this. Look at them all. Just golems pouring from side to side. The enemy does not yet have the numbers. I'm thinking to keep up with this, we'll be needing at least another 5 or 6 golem combobulators before winter's end. Because the numbers are significant now. But that's only because we can keep replacing them fast. Like if we have, say, 10 really strong combobulators, and then you start, lose all, say, 50. That means we're only getting like 10 new golems every cycle. But if you have, say, 30 or 40 golem combobulators, which is still only 50, you might be getting, 20 to 30 or so per cycle, which means a lot more. So it's time to start, my gods, increasing the numbers of frontline troops. And I think we're going to do well with that one. We're definitely going to be doing pretty well. Defences are holding, as in the fact that they're barely even touched. We have a huge amount of munitions stored away, including over this reinforced ammo storage. In fact, we're doing so well. There's ammo just thrown on the floor because my people are disgusting. But otherwise, we're doing great. Yeah, the enemy hasn't even tried to breach my walls. Like, the only damage I'm seeing so far is from the lightning strike, and even half of that's been repaired, so... Yeah, my energy is barely going down below 15k. Look at these. They are running on a cryolithium, so energy is a bit of an issue, but we've got plenty in storage from these two back here. Mostly what's going on with all the cryolithium is it's going to the walls over here. And as you can see, these are bound to be built up too. So this defensive wall is mostly complete. This defensive wall here has been switched out for cryolithium just to keep the theme going on. But yeah, cryolithium is our main production for weapons and, golems and magic and walls. So yeah, cryolithium is currently ongoing a lot. But I think we've actually done really bloody well. This time last year or the year before, I was worse. So this is great. Massive improvement, guys. Well done for all of you for encouraging me. I don't know if you're encouraging me. I've recorded a lot in one go. I have not slept. I'm going crazy. It looks like my army's finally being defeated because the enemy's getting closer and closer. I'm seeing a lot of dead golems. So we're finally hitting the stage where the enemy now is an active threat. This is the fallback point now. This is now the bit where issues are going to happen. So everything now needs to be fully established as ice or whatever. Because like I say, fire elementals will start doing damage. See, that is pathing towards the front. We need to finish off this wall here, so we cannot do that. So we've officially hit the death tipping point. The enemy are finally pathing through my combat zone. Now, of course, it doesn't really matter too much because my defense are still strong and more troops are pouring to the front. But it's a sign that everything has turned against me. This is now the danger zone. And unfortunately, the danger zone is quite dangerous. So, yeah. Okay. The danger zone finally hitting my lines. I'm going to have to keep an eye on my turrets and my towers, because of course if they get hit, we are the screwed. But what I'm going to be doing after this is shoring on my lines, putting a few more defences down, and then I'm going to start, I think, advancing. It's time to start pushing some lights into enemy territory and start pushing forwards. Let's get our war until the enemy is actually pathing through, but they're being hit hard by all of this, and if they get to the very end, they get destroyed by these guys anyway. Everything in here is being fire, because if fire elementals get to there, they'll just shoot them anyway. Like that one's doing there, they'll just shoot. Yeah, see, I was just shooting fire. So it doesn't matter if the fire elementals get to that stage. We just need to finish this wall off here. So we are going to wall this section off here. Make sure the enemy can't path through. So same thing, a gate just here. And then we're going to seal this area off with more water and ice and all things nice. And let's continue the epics. But we're doing semi-okay is the phrase I'm going to be using, because the enemy is upset with me. There's not really much we can do about it, because let's face it, the enemy is everywhere. And this is where we start running out of resources. Great. Alright, we can do this. Yeah, so this is literally the fallback point. Okay, yeah, we can do this. Just gonna be a fight. Here we go. Now, luckily, despite the fact there's probably a few issues going along the edge, the enemy doesn't have that much in the way of numbers. But you can see from here the amount of troops pouring in. We're only 1/3 of the way through the night. We will survive the night. It's just going to be a little bit more dangerous, like significantly more dangerous. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on that by a large margin. Because like these guys are just going to path to there, so I'm going to have to finish up my defences. But I think we should hold. So yeah, next step, more golems, and I think finish off the defensive wall. Let's repair you guys while I'm at it. Luckily, the enemy's sheer numbers are giving me huge amounts of resources to play with. But yeah, this is turning. This is turning.